Welcome to Whole Lot of Wolves, episode 24 of season 6. I'm Joshua Buckley with co-host from Baltimore, Danny Paletti.
Good evening.
Well, guys, it's been a couple weeks because I went under the knife again. In the meantime, Wolves scored a grand total of 0 goals. Woo! A 2-0 loss to Man City and a 2-0 loss to Bournemouth. Danny, I put down we'll start with the Man City game, but I'm not gonna lie. Look, I don't remember watching the game. I know I watched it. I don't know how much I watched it because I was still on the good stuff from the
you have the excuse of drugs. I don't remember it, and I was completely sober. So
yeah, I mean, I seem to remember Nunes. Well, I know I missed the beginning. I think I missed the beginning. I don't know. Nunes got an assist, right? Matheus Nunes.
Yeah.
Yeah, screw that dude. I still hate. Should I just get over this, or am I perfectly rightful to still hate that guy?
It's probably time to get over it at this point.
I'm a real petty bastard, so I don't think I will. I still hate that guy. Since you did watch it, Danny, were Wolves ever really in the game after they scored early?
Not really. I don't even know that we were in the game before then. I think Rob Edwards sort of didn't get the lineup exactly right. I think we're a little bit too sort of defensively minded. It's silly to say we gave them too much respect when we're talking about Man City, but still, they'd been on a poor run of form, and I think we sort of ceded a lot of control to them early on. And on the one hand, I feel like we sort of did what we set out to do, which is to frustrate them. But we just had nothing going the other way. So, yeah, I don't know. It was, like I said, it was super boring to watch because it just felt inevitable once you realized that we weren't going to make a break and score at any time. Then it was just well, how long can we hold on? If it's still 0-0 at 70 minutes, maybe you can start to hope. But that felt like a pipe dream, and indeed it was. So.
Sai's asking what's in the koozie today, Danny.
Oh, well, my local brewery, Peabody Heights, does a lovely IPA called Winter Wanderer. So that seems appropriate.
Nice. I have a vintage Blackberry Buble sparkling water. I brought a second one in case I want to get
real crazy.
Yeah, let's get crazy. Okay, so that was that game. I can't comment on it. Like I said, I can't remember watching it. Just not gonna lie. I do remember watching the Bournemouth game though. And even though Wolves lost 2-0, I felt like Wolves were probably the better team for 80 to 90% of that match. Would you agree, Danny?
I feel like we're going to disagree a lot in this segment. Okay, yes, we were okay. Better team, maybe. I just think Bournemouth just didn't look that great anyway. And it's just maybe it was just relative to the way that they were playing. I think that, yeah, we had some kind of a chance in the early stages, but compared to our actual quote unquote good looking games, the one win that we have, and also Everton away comes to mind, games where we seemed capable. I don't even know that we reached those dizzying heights.
Dizzying heights. It does seem like Wolves more than anybody, they can be playing well and make one damn mistake, and next thing you know, it's 1-0. Do you think Wolves are being punished for their mistakes more this season than most teams?
Yeah, I mean it's just one of those cliches where when you're bad, all the luck goes against you too, and that sort of gives credence to the idea that you make your own luck. It's just we're not particularly good in any particular part of the pitch. It opens the door to silly mistakes costing us a lot, and it's again just comes down to the squad where if your best players, in this case maybe Andre and João Gomez aren't quite at it, and I don't think either of them had amazing games, then that turns you into a really dire team as opposed to just normally dire. So yeah, it's just one of those where you have such an uneven squad, and then your better players, have a 7 out of 10 instead of a 9 out of 10, then you're going to suffer.
So Krejci did not play in this game. Instead, it was Agbadu in there, which, spoiler alert, it was the last Agbadu appearance in a Wolves kit. Do you think that Krejci was really missed this contest?
Yeah. I think, I don't know. He gives us some sort of control. He also gives us better progression, probably. I don't know. Agbadu looked like a player who hadn't been in the team for a bit, which he hadn't. Yeah, it just
and had one foot out the door.
Yeah, and maybe had been talking to his agent just before the game and just after the game. Yeah, so it wasn't super helpful. I mean, it wasn't like a god awful performance from him like we've seen in the past, but it also wasn't anything particularly good. And this is sort of what I was just saying, where it's like you need everybody firing for us to even have a chance in a game. And so having him be semi-absent doesn't do us any favors.
I mean, we'll talk about him in a little bit, but his fall off, I view as one of the top 5 reasons Wolves are in the spot they're in. And
yeah,
it boggles my mind.
Yeah, it's a big part of it. But also, I think that he's been hurt by how bad the team has been. It's a two-way street, I think. And I'm sure that, where he ends up, assuming that, I mean, we'll talk about, but Besiktas, a strong team in their league, we could end up seeing him performing much better, but we shouldn't immediately jump to the conclusion that, oh, we've lost, this player that could have helped us. It's just, a lot of these players are suffering from being in a poor team overall.
Rodrigo started at right wing back and nearly had an early assist to Matthias Mane. Do you think this is going to be Rob Edwards starting right wing back from here on out?
I hope so. I mean, just in terms of the team being watchable or anything like watchable. I mean, I don't know. I think Chachua has actually grown into it a little bit over the last month, but
defensively,
yeah,
grown into it defensively,
and occasionally going forward, but really, really occasionally. But yeah, I mean, it's just it's instantly obvious, and I don't even think that I'm not even a person who thinks Rodrigo is the second coming or anything. He's good, but I don't know. It's such a indictment of our other options. The only one who's left is Chachua that are over there. That Rodrigo Gomez comes in and just is giving us so much more. And I'm sure that Bjorsa Mosquera is having to pick up some slack there defensively. But God, if we're gonna lose games or struggle in games anyway, I'd rather watch Rodrigo Gomez.
Yeah. And this brings up another point I have. So at this point, do you think even getting 1 point matters? We need to be going in trying to get 3 points, and caution be damned is the way I view it. So that's why I think Rodrigo Gomez is a good thing, because, okay, yeah, he's not the best defensively, but he's probably one of our better guys to at least create chances, and that's what matters right now. But we could win, we could go 0-0 the rest of the season, and okay, we may not finish last, but but we're still getting relegated. We're still getting relegated anyways. But if we pick up 3 points instead of these ones, that could make a difference.
Yeah, I completely agree. I just, first of all, there's just the school of thought that what else do we have to lose at this point? Yeah, but yeah, I mean, just unless it's a big team like City, the way that we played against them, where we have to sort of hunker down. If you're playing a team, like Bournemouth that have had a bunch of injuries, or any team that's bottom half who could in theory be got at by even a poor Wolves team, you have to actually give it a go. And if we were to score an early goal, or I mean, God forbid, 2 early goals,
well, let's calm it down.
It feels
how much APV is Is that Wanderer?
If, and it's a big if, you could score those goals, then it now feels like, unlike under Vitor Pereira, we could actually hang on to a lead, especially if it were 2 goals instead. I don't know about a 1 goal lead. I don't know if we're quite there yet, but it feels like we can hang on to a lead a bit. Whereas, I mean, so many of our problems, the second half was so difficult to watch for that reason. It's just like we were having to extend ourselves more and more. They were getting these crazy break opportunities that were just like, and a lot of that is because we're trying to come back. And it's just, if we can get something in the beginning, like we almost did with Rodrigo and Mane, that completely changes the game.
Yeah. Danny, I thought Hwang Hee-chan was the worst player on the pitch.
Here we go.
Let's go. I know you disagree, so defend yourself. Defend your boy.
Okay. I am not here to defend Hwang's performance per se. I'm certainly not saying that he had a good day out. No one thinks that. The issue is, who else do you put in there? And Fer Lopez isn't here anymore. And even if he was here, I would say that that's not an adequate replacement for him. Now, Bellegarde was back on the bench. I think there's an argument to be made that, he could come in instead of Hwang, but he's a different player and he's going to play deeper and all these things. The things that Hwang gives to us, I'm going to even include leadership. I think he's an underrated leader on the team to the extent that we have them. And again, I want to caveat every positive thing I say about Hwang. I'm not saying that like he is the standard by which we should judge other people. We should have better leaders than him. We should have better pressers than him. We should have better goal scorers than him. But we do not have those things. And so, I mean, like, I see the mistakes that he makes, and I agree. Like, he makes crazy choices sometimes, especially when I think someone pointed out, like, he had a flick or very early on that came off, and it was really good. And then he tried it like 7 more times through the game, and it never came off.
Check.
Yeah, and like I see those things too, and I'm sure that every fan is frustrated with them. I'm sure that Rob Edwards is frustrated with them, but like, I just don't know what the other option is. And people are, throwing up their hands about like how frustrating this is. But like, I don't know. Look at the other, like Andre. How many times did Andre give the ball away in dangerous locations, including one that led to a goal?
Yeah. And that's very true. Andre has been doing that.
And I think that like Hee-chan has the problem of having been around a long time. And I think there's an element of even a player that you like can sort of wear out their welcome, when you're frustrated at just results, even if they're not necessarily a part of the problem in individual games. And I think that that's where he's at now. And so like, I genuinely meant when I replied to you on Twitter, like, I hope he gets sold just so I don't have to see people complain about it. Like, I think that he will do well at another team. It is time for a refresh. It will help everyone if he moves somewhere else. I just can't see like who else do we bring in instead of him? Like, it is just
I think we did bring in his replacement. For better or worse, I think we did bring in his replacement.
Maybe, yeah.
Which we'll get to that. Okay, 2 games, no goals. Who's gotta be the person that we gotta count on to deliver goals?
Tolu. We just saw earlier this evening that he was reading Dan Butler's analysis article, so now he knows how to score goals. Maybe, I don't know. It was also one of those things where we were like kind of desperately unlucky, like we were talking about just a second ago. Of course, they probably deserve all the rants that people give them about their lack of finishing, both him and Strand Larson, but we were just also very unlucky with some of those things. The ball could fall better for Strand Larson in that moment. He could hit it first time, and that's a completely different game. So hopefully the luck is a little bit better, and hopefully with the very small amount of business we've done, we can maybe create some things better for Tolu. But yeah, it's got to be Tolu. We can't rely on an 18-year-old. I love watching Mane, and I hope he keeps doing stuff for us, but it's ridiculous to rely on an 18-year-old in any team.
Yeah, I completely agree. Unless his name is Messi or Ronaldo, which we like Matheus Mane. He is not Messi or Ronaldo. Well, you talked about the little bit of business we did. So let's talk about it. Transfer window closed today. Heading out, the big name was Jurgen Strand Larson is gone. He went to Palace for 43 million pounds plus 5 million pounds in bonuses and add-ons. Surprised that we got that much, Danny?
Very surprised. I remember, a couple months ago, people talking about, oh, if we get 25, that'll be great business, maybe Matt Hobbs doing us one last solid before we drop down to a different division than he's working in. But yeah, I'm very surprised. And I guess it came down to Mateta needing surgery because it really felt for a moment there like he wasn't going to go to AC Milan, and then the dominoes don't fall, and then Strand Larson is stuck here. And now he's had his head turned twice in a season, and I just was like dreading watching the last 4 months with whatever performances he was going to put up. But yeah, good for everyone. It's kind of crazy money, to be honest. I think people will just say like, this is just what a striker goes for when it's from one Premier League club to another. But yeah, it seems like
one league goal.
Yeah.
One.
So is it like 15 goals in like 18 months or something?
Very front loaded.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a bit weird. But I mean, also we know that he's a quality finisher, and in a team that could supply him the right chances, it could work out. I don't know. I've seen a few people debate about whether he'll be a total flop, like we've completely had their pants down, or like if he's gonna suddenly like explode. It's just like, I don't know. I think he's probably what he was last season. Like he's kind of a 14 goal a season striker. Like it may be a little bit better, maybe a little bit worse if he has some injuries, but like I don't see him as like significantly different from what we've already seen.
Yeah, I don't think he's got that next gear from what we saw at the peak yesterday. I tend to agree. That's a great price for him. I'm not too worried at the fact that we didn't turn around and spend that money this transfer window. I just want to make sure that that money is not just being pocketed by Fosun and is going to be reinvested.
Yeah.
Which, who knows? It seemed to be some positives coming from the meeting with Nathan Shee and stuff with the supporters group. So,
yeah.
Okay. I love how they're throwing Jeff under the bus as much as possible now, by the way. It's high comedy. Well, we didn't have a play in the last 2 or 3 years. Well, no shit, Sherlock.
Yeah.
Agbadoo. He is Agbagon. Are you surprised that Besiktas ended up coming back and moved off of the 10, ended up 18 million pounds?
Yeah, I think that pretty much recoups what we paid for him too, which is kind of wild. Yeah, that's got to be seen as pretty good business, especially for going to that league. But yeah, I don't know. I feel a bit indifferent about Agbadoo leaving, where I know he's been terrible, but I think like it's hard to see it as anything but weakening, our center back options, even if he has been bad. Like, I don't know, like I know Doc's on the bench and he's had a decent season, so like he could come in, but Doc is on the wrong side of 30, and we're like one injury away from, like an injured Toti Gomez coming on, and it's just like,
that you are apparently missing out on Andre at sweeper, my friend.
Yeah, I know. Like some really weird options. And so like, I don't know. We sort of talked about this last time where it's like what constitutes a good window, and like if it means getting the better price now instead of half that in the summer, is it worth it? And so you have to say that for this one, it is worth it. But it does feel a little bit like, I don't know. There are other center backs that I would more readily see go than him, I guess.
I loved seeing all the rumors of Besiktas coming after this player and this player and this player from Wolves. It's like, have they looked?
You're gonna buy every single one of our players.
Yeah. Have you guys looked? And there was a Besiktas fan that responded to me and was like, "Oh, we're gonna own your whole club." And I said, "Oh, was that a promise?" Because I'm good with that.
Yeah,
get these guys. Yeah, okay. That was hilarious to me. For Lopez, we kind of knew this was going to happen. He went back to Celta Vigo, of course, scores immediately with just the worldy when he gets back in there. Of course, I don't know. Danny, do you think we're going to see him again in a Wolves kit?
I have serious doubts that we will.
Yeah, I do too.
There was like a few days, maybe a week at most, where the rumors were that he was going to get loaned to the Championship. And that's when I had hope that this was like really planning for him being here next season. Him going back to Celta Vigo just feels like that's a Mendes move to get him slightly out of the door. I'd be very surprised if we see him back again. I don't know. I really, in order to like have more peace on Twitter for me, I need Wang to leave so that people can stop complaining, and I needed Fer Lopez to leave to have people stop talking about how he absolutely has to play because he's so good. I agree, he's good, but like people saw that one goal that he scored and are immediately like making comparisons to like Vitinho, where it's like, I can't believe we let him go. Look at him like tearing it up in Europe and whatever. It's just like, guys, it's
two different leagues, man.
There is no world in which he gets the space to make that shot in the Premier League against any team that we play against.
Yeah.
And you think he can do that in the Championship? I mean, it's unlikely. I think it could still be fun if he comes back for next season, but I am not overly broken up by him going right now.
Well, I hope that money was properly laundered there by Jeff and Uncle George and the Fer Lopez dealing, because let's be honest, there was some shit. Again, we spent half of Cunha's money on that. Half of it. What are we doing?
Like our marquee signing, I mean, apart from like John Arias, but like the one who had the more fanfare was Fer Lopez, because it was this. I mean, I was really thinking about it today as Strand Larson was on his way out, that they made such a big deal of him coming in, this highly rated kid. And like, obviously there were lots of people, including myself, who had reservations about how many minutes he had played or not played. But like this whole thing with like Strand Larson, and, you know, they used to play together and come in and get me so many assists and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I didn't subject myself to it, but I just like thought about like watching those videos again and how much pain I would feel, where it's just like the sort of magical thinking that went on behind that is just so frustrating and really like emblematic of a bad window.
I mean, it was Fabio 2.0, what it turned out to be, with a little less money.
Yeah.
That was Fabio 2.0. Another one of Jeff Shee's like little magic beans he got sold. Look at this. This is going to be great. Manetzi, he's gone to Paris. No buy option. Kiana Hoover, I mean, I'll probably forget he's still on the official Wolves roster here in a couple months. He's on loan to Sheffield United. I don't think we'll ever see him again.
Good news about Hoover. When they went out, I think it was Liam Keane, made everyone aware that unlike recent reports, his contract is not up in 2026. It's up in 2027. So yes, there is a chance that he comes back, which God help us all.
I mean, just sell him to somebody for £2 million and let's just be done with it.
For all of our sake.
That we spent a third of the Jota money on Hoover. Maybe it was a little bit more. How much did we get for Jota?
I don't remember. You're
maybe 40. So we spent a fourth because Hoover was $10 million. I remember that.
Yeah.
Which was funny. We had to pay the $10 million right away, but we told them, you can start playing this for Jota.
Let's not relitigate the pagan installments, which everyone does.
Trera, he is going to Barnsley in League One. Hey, remember when we were playing him significant minutes? And now he's in League One.
That's why I included it on this. Like it's a good move for him, to be honest. I think near the top of League One. Like it's a good chance for him. But yeah, it's just kind of crazy that even going back to Gary O'Neill's tenure, this was a player that we were like kind of relying on during a small injury crisis. That like oh, this guy's gonna be starting a Premier League game.
You know what my lasting memory of him will be if he never comes back is being called for the interference of the or being called for
Yes.
offside on Max Kilman's goal against West Ham when we were at
In
Premier
Nashville,
League
yeah.
mornings. Yeah.
Oh my
Yep.
god. Yeah, he was completely obstructing Fabianski's view despite being a foot shorter than him.
And to the left when
Yeah.
the goal went. Oh yeah, what a joke. What a joke. So those are the outgoings. Ingoing. This is, I kind of insinuated, I think we found Hwang's replacement, and I think it's here. It's Adam Armstrong. Came in from Southampton, £7 million, 2 million in incentives. This year, he's got 11 goals, 4 assists, and 24 starts. That is championship. Very clearly, we're getting this guy for the championship. However, it's not like Hwang is tearing it up. Wouldn't it make sense to get this guy in? I mean, he knows the leagues. He knows English football. I think he is going to be in the starting lineup. Probably not this game, but I'd say definitely by March, he's in the starting 11.
Yeah, I have to believe that that's true. Because I think also this one has kind of the hallmarks of it being more of a Rob Edwards signing. They obviously leaned heavily into that in the articles that the club put out about it. The extent to which he knows Adam Armstrong from playing against him mostly. Coaching against him, obviously.
Right.
But still, like, this is a person that he knows from the leagues, and so like you imagine that's very much a person that he's brought in because he has an idea, which is funny. I saw someone else comment, it might have been Gully, but like about how we had the Vitor Pereira type player who were all just tall and supposedly physical, even though none of them would take
And
on
have
a
no
man
pace
somehow.
whatsoever.
Yeah, and now Rob Edwards brings in two guys who are like under 5'10". And yeah, Adam Armstrong on 11 goals, and the current championship leader for the Golden Boot race is on 13. So he's up there. I will say, like, I'm not overly excited about this. I think it's like reasonably sensible. I am a little bit frustrated that it feels like we have a chance to like actually push the boat out. And this is like the time where you could sign someone who is like a little unknown, and like on their way up. Ideally still from the championship, like someone who still has that experience. You like sort of gamble on them for 4 months and see how it goes. And this feels like a very safe option. And he's going to turn 29, I think, this February, and he'll turn 30 during, next campaign. So, I think it's a sensible signing if it's not the most exciting one.
So then do you feel like Wolves' other big name signing, Angel Gomez, coming in on loan from OM with a $6 million option to buy, do you feel like that's one of those young guys that, okay, this is a time to take a chance?
Yeah, I think that's definitely the case. There's a bit of excitement about this one I've seen. I haven't like looked into him. I'm definitely not, a person who does like player analysis of any kind, apart from, just looking up highlights on YouTube or whatever. But yeah, this feels like a little bit of a coup if he will play with us in the championship, which seems likely from what I've seen. Like we have an option to buy him for an amount that would not be crazy for a championship team to spend. And he seems more than up to the level of the championship. I mean, I guess that remains to be seen coming from France, but like if it works out the way that people think that it will, like I think that he could be a very strong part of that championship team.
Where do you see him slotting in, like now and next year?
I think for me right now, it's like, he's sort of taking pressure off of Mane, where you have these players like Mane and Hwang and Arias who are sort of playing as these like advanced midfielders, like kind of like tens, but they're floating around. I think that's kind of where we'll see him be deployed. He can technically play as a 6, an 8, and maybe even a 10, but I think it's going to be kind of that, like he'll play box to box, or he'll play in that sort of more advanced role. And so I think like from that perspective, I like the signing that, we don't have to keep flogging Mane. Like it's felt very unfair to take this kid, and it's one thing for him to like score some goals, and that's been obviously great, arguably the highlight of the whole season. But like to put on his shoulders all this creativity that we're lacking feels distinctly unfair.
Mhm.
And I think like Angel Gomez is someone who could, in theory, be charged with taking up that responsibility of creating more than an 18-year-old kid can.
Could you see a midfield three of Mane, Gomez, Angel Gomez, and Bellegarde in the championship?
Yeah, well, we can keep on dreaming about that one.
I don't know if I want to dream because that would have no defense whatsoever. Yeah, I don't know. Lima's back from loan. We talked about that. The other huge signing,
Huge.
man, Jeff had always been wanting to bring over this Chinese superstar. He leaves, and of course, now they want to come. Ji Bin,
Ju
Bin from Qingdao West Coast was brought in via a loan. Or no, we bought him, right? What did we buy him for? I don't even remember.
I don't know. It wasn't. I don't think it was published because it's
If
like
Jeff was in
technically to
charge,
the
this would have been
academy.
for like 20 million, right? We
Yeah.
know this immediately loaned to Grasshoppers. He's expected to complete a loan domestically, allowing to settle in England and learn the language while remaining available to still represent Wolves under 21 group. I think it's smart, like with some of these guys, to let them bed in before throwing them in there.
So this guy's a defensive midfielder. So there's our Andre replacement when
Mhm.
he goes, obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah, I don't. This one was so strange to me because of the wording. I don't. Maybe I'm just like I don't pay enough attention to like when youngsters get signed, but it just was so weird to me, the phrasing. And that's why I included the show notes is like expected to complete a loan domestically, allowing him to settle in England while remaining available to still represent Wolves under 21 group.
It doesn't even.
How's he like completing a loan while also available to I'm very confused about that setup.
Is he like going to be playing in the Sunday league?
yeah, I don't know. So I'm sure someone will enlighten us either in the comments or afterwards on Twitter or something. But it was all a bit weird, and who knows if we ever see him play like a proper league game or anything. But
I can't trust any of the Asian signings we get after that one guy was trying to sell us on. We got the Japanese Mbappe. Remember that? Or was it no? Yeah, it was
are we talking about
Japanese?
Hayo Kawabi?
Yeah.
Japanese Mbappe.
The Japanese Mbappe, yeah, who went straight to Grasshoppers and was never seen from again.
And then Minnesota United.
Mm-hmm. Clearly, we're the Japanese Mbappe would end up Minnesota United. Final transfer thoughts. I think we pretty much nailed it that, 1 to no starters. I think Armstrong will be one, but that's pretty much it, right? I kind of view it as a positive in the fact that we got good money for two guys who were not part of the future and honestly didn't seem like they were good for locker room morale.
Yeah. I think like someone asked me, my buddy Edgar asked me like, what do you think about the window? And I was like, I don't know, like 6 out of 10, but that's caveated by the fact that like, I don't even know what I would call a 10 out of 10. Like, is a 10 out of 10 a window where I would like suddenly believe that we're going to stay up? Like, that feels impossible. So like, I'm not really sure what a 10 out of 10 would have been. I think it would have been nice if there had been, I mean, obviously earlier moves is always nice, but that's usually not possible. But like something that felt like the beginning of a strategy that would be completed this summer. And to that extent, it just felt like, yeah, like you said, the positives are that we got two guys who probably weren't that happy to be here out the door and for really decent money, and we brought in two guys who could, very reasonably be a big part of next season's team. So like to that extent, I think we did accomplish the sort of like let's build for next season, but I don't know that it feels like there's some grand strategy going on. Yeah, it's okay.
It would have been a 9 out of 10 for me if we had gotten Adama instead of West Ham.
Well, yeah, I know that. I'm surprised you didn't say 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I gotta be a little 10 out of 10 would have also been getting Che Adams, who can we just point out the fact that Wolves could have had him for free a couple summers ago. And now we were trying to give Torino 10 million pounds and couldn't get it done. That's just so Wolves. Trying to spend $10 million to get somebody who they could have gotten for free and being turned down. Just chef's kiss.
I mean,
on Wolves transfer policy.
Sadly, it really kind of shows where we've ended up, the sort of like continual downgrading, where, just even the players that we have liked over the past years that, have like come in to replace Raul Jimenez. And then we have like Strand Larson, and he was pretty good, but like also not hitting Jimenez's numbers. And now we're talking about Che Adams. I have a good friend who's a Southampton supporter, surprisingly. And I texted him just a few days ago when we got linked with Adam Armstrong. I said, Adam Armstrong linked with Che Adams. We were linked with James Ward-Prowse earlier. We're trying to put together that 2021-2022 Southampton Galacticos. It's just like, but that's where we are. And that's super frustrating, as we all know.
What was your friend's thoughts on Armstrong?
He's kind of surprised that they were letting him go for what isn't like a huge amount of money, considering they're going to be playing against us next season. I think that's sort of his
those
feeling.
Parachute payments are about to end for them. So
yeah. So I don't think he wasn't like broken up about it, because I think Armstrong has actually not been starting recently. They have another player who's being preferred, but still just seems a bit odd, because like you're sort of preemptively strengthening a rival potentially.
I don't know. Yeah, I'd say 5 out of 10, but honestly, I didn't expect much. I was way more excited about my latest shipment of Funko Pops that I won in an auction last week coming in today than I was the Wolves transfer window. And no regrets. None.
No regrets.
No regrets. Let's look at Wolves' next match. We're needing these 3-pointers. I don't know if it's going to start this week, and that is because Wolves are playing Chelsea Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central, 11:10. I don't know, Fort Lauderdale time. Just depends on what time of the year it is. Chelsea, they won 3-2 over West Ham with Adama was throwing Cucurella all off the pitch.
Did you see that clip?
No, I did not.
Oh my God, Josh. This is like I can't believe you haven't seen this. I almost regret not queuing it up so we can watch it together.
Okay, I'm gonna watch it right now. So Chelsea.
Yeah. So I will just sort of narrate, since no one will be able to see you seeing it. Cucurella and Adama are vying for the ball, and then it goes out of bounds, and Cucurella ends up on the ground. Obviously, he's been sort of out-muscled. And as he's getting up, sort of puts his head into Adama's midriff, not super aggressively, but you know what he's trying to do. And Adama literally grabs him and throws him off the pitch. And then João Pedro sort of shoves him a little bit.
How late in the game was this?
Very late.
Very late. Okay, so not the 70th minute when Cucurella scored here.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe.
Oh, they didn't show it. All they showed was Cucurella scoring.
No, of course they're not going to show it. All right, we're going to do this not on the clock here.
Yeah.
But anyway,
do
yourself a favor and.
Oh! Okay, yeah, that was pretty cool. He did lock. Oh, and then who's number 20 that went after him?
João Pedro, yeah.
Oh man, I thought Adama was gonna knock him in the next.
All right, tune in next week.
That was totally
live reactions the whole time.
That was totally worth it. Anyways, yeah, we played Chelsea. They play the Carabao Cup semifinal against Arsenal on Tuesday night. But then again, Chelsea's got like 80 guys, so it's not like they're not going to be fresh with whoever they throw out there. Any surprises you think we'll see in the lineup, Danny?
I mean, the real question is, do we think we'll see a signing, by which I mostly mean Adam Armstrong, starting? He
I don't
said
think
in
he'll
his
start, but he'll come on and play.
he said in his interview, I hope to be training with the guys on Tuesday and starting to get to know things. And I don't know. I think it's not out of the question, to be honest. I agree with you that I think it's less likely than him being on the bench, but like I think you can't discount it completely. So he could play a part, and that would be certainly interesting. Hopefully, I don't know, like that could be the highlight of the game potentially, is like seeing a player who we're going to be watching next season take part in it.
Can you imagine, like, I assume Hoang would start and he'd come in and replace him? The amount of cheering that's going to go on then.
This is the other thing, is like, regardless of how bad you feel about Wang, like I get it. Like, it is frustrating to watch him. I don't really love the booing of him or cheering when he's coming off. It's just like, he's out there trying. He's not doing well, but he's clearly trying.
Yeah, which is more than we could say about two guys who just got kicked to the curb.
Yeah.
So let's look at the prediction standings. We all got a point for saying that Wolves are going to lose to Man City. We felt really good about the Bournemouth game and got pooped on again. So it still stands. I have 18 points. Danny, you have 13 points. And Alex in the guest spot have 10. Alex has already said 2-1 Chelsea for this matchup. What say you?
Yeah, I don't feel any more optimistic than Alex does. I'm gonna unfortunately go 3. I'll go Wolves 1, Chelsea 3.
3-1. Okay. I mean, where are you guys finding this goal from?
I don't know. Tolu just read that article about chance creation.
Great response by Tolu. I'm gonna say another 2-0, where we give up a goal early, but then it looks like we're gonna be in it until like the 75th or 80th minute, and we blow it in. So 2-0. That seems about right these days. That's Chelsea, not 2-0 Wolves, obviously.
But who knows?
But who knows, indeed.
All right. It is that time of the show again, our favorite time of the show, where you, the listener, can ask anything about the wonderful club that is Wolverhampton Wanderers. You can, of course, always email at us at any time at wholelotofwolves@gmail.com, spelled just like the title of the show. You can also reach us at X/Twitter at WLWpod. And if you are watching on the live stream right now, feel free to drop your questions in the chat, and we'll try to take some questions as they come in. But to start things off, on X, our good friend Ryan Gray asked, will we at least win some games in the championship next season? Callum, his son, just goes, oh, well, we lost again, Dad. Same every week. The 2 signings are good if they go ahead. Don't see Angel Gomez playing in the championship. So take that last part first. I think Angel Gomez permanent.
I think, as long as he shows something, because I don't think he would have been. I think he would have made it clear if he had no intention of playing in the championship. Right. Yeah. And at that point, Wolves would be wasting their time. So I do think we will see him. Are we going to win some games next week? If we're not in the top 5 next year, it is a complete and utter failure. And utter failure. There should be no reason with the talent that's still going to be on Wolves next year that we're not. Really, it should be top 2.
I think that I wanted to include this just because it's kind of like a discussion based a little bit on the fan groups meeting with Nathan Shee, where there's a lot of positive, I'll say optimism about the way that the club will bounce back and the amount of resources they want to put into it. What do you think about that? Just the championship is notoriously hard to get out of. And I know that they have to, they're not going to Nathan Shee's not going to come and talk to fans and say oh, it's going to be difficult. We might struggle next season. Like, he would never say that. But still, do you worry at all that there is a bit of hubris going on about like their ability to bounce right back?
No, because I think this might be a little bit of their ego, of Fosun's ego, because they're like, well, we got it up pretty quick. I don't see why we can't do it again. We easily went through there. The problem is you don't have the Mendes situation that you did then, where you're pulling a Ruben Neves off of being captain of a freaking Champions League team into the championship. But I do think that Wolves understand that Fosun is going to hemorrhage money if they do not get back to the Premier League quick. So I think they're going to take those parachute payments. I think they're going to take some of this JSL money, probably Andre and Gomez, and I think they're going to spend a lot next summer. The question is, are they going to spend it properly? I don't know.
Yeah. So that's my sort of angle on it, is that like I think that I am concerned to the extent that like we know how much the club has sort of been hollowed out. I mean, we've seen it year on year, even going back to Laurie Dalrymple, but people like Scott Sellers, which caught a lot of flack for good reason. Was probably not the proper person to have in that role in the first place. And then he was gotten rid of, and then Matt Hobbs came in, had some success, but then he was gotten rid of. And it's just, and even people not in the sporting side, Russell Jones, etc. It's just, I worry that like we've always been hollowing out. And then the answers for who should replace this person has never been, let's find someone else in England, in the championship, whoever, who's doing this sporting director job or this whatever job, and they're the best person, and we're going to go and get them. We're going to go and hire them. It's always been, which person currently at the club who hasn't fallen afoul of Jeff Shee yet can we hire? And I worry that damage can't be undone immediately, that you still have like an organization that has not been built properly.
Well, and I do think they need to hit a bit of a reset there, but this just goes to show how finally they like broke out of the Jeff Shee Jedi mind tricks.
Yeah.
And I mean, I go back again to them congratulating Manny on X a week after Jeff left. That to me spoke volumes about just how deep Jeff's little fingers were. And now that he's cut out, I think Fosun is like, okay, yeah, this guy screwed us over for a few years. And for whatever reason, I don't know if he had him convinced, like, oh, look at the money we're bringing in. Oh, well, no. I mean, I think he's a good salesman, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, no doubt Nathan Shee will have the remit of like the objective is to get this team back into the Premier League. I do not doubt Fosun want that. I do not doubt that they will want to throw money at that cause. It's just a matter of, do they have the capability to do it?
Right.
I will say,
and you would like to see, like you said, people with experience coming in at this point.
I'll say on the other hand, like I'm not fully like pessimistic about it. I just like, I think it's all still up in the air, which is part of the reason that it's like hard to be engaged right now, is because like we don't have a ton of answers. But I think one of the reasons to be positive is like, even though I'm not like super hyped on the Adam Armstrong signing, the fact that feels like more of a Rob Edwards choice, and also even Angel Gomez, because he played England youth levels at the same time when Rob Edwards was coaching English youth levels. Like in the remarks from the club, they mentioned that Rob Edwards said that he was aware of him and whatever. That like Rob Edwards has a different agent that's not George Mendes, and that agency has a lot of resources and contacts in England, and like they could be relying on those things. And I don't know that that's like objectively better, but just to not fence ourselves off from that. I mean, like maybe we should have remarked back when we were talking about the transfers. This is like the first time we bought someone from the championship in how long?
And the first time since Tommy Doyle that we bought somebody who was English.
Yeah. I mean, it's remarkable, and like, it shouldn't be. I'm not saying like they need to only look at the championship because that's where we're going to end up being, but like the fact that that was a market that we were just completely closing ourselves off from seemed ridiculous. So
Yeah.
I think there is cause also for optimism in that sense that like if they are truly trusting Rob Edwards to like be part of the long-term project of rebuild, then they lean on those contacts while also building out their own scouting, hopefully, but who knows. So yeah. Anyway, that's a whole long-winded digression from Ryan's original question, but
yes, we should win some games in the championship.
I think we'll win some games. There are some bad teams. West Brom may or may not still be in the championship when we get there.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah, so the people who I DM with on Twitter who are from the UK, I feel like are 50-50 split. I think Stu is on the side of he wants them to go down, but yeah, it's like half of them want them to go down because that's just funnier and better, and then we don't have to deal with it. But half of them want the Black Country Derby back. I safely just want to watch a Black Country Derby. So
I do too.
I'm on that side.
I'm always going to go for the rivalries.
All right, let's move on. Drew Freakin on X, obviously, from Pittsburgh, sends us these questions, which I will pick and choose. He had this one queued up for the inevitable. Where does the failed JSL transfer rank in worst business over the past 4 years?
Luckily, you couldn't have put the stink on this one, Drew. He was like trying to will it to fall through just to laugh at Will.
I mean, I will say I panicked a little bit when that happened. I was like, please don't let me watch like another 4 months of JSL sulking. All right. After the January Lopetegui window was the following summer that brought Santi, Bellegarde, Enzo, and Tommy Doyle, the second best window of the past 5 years. I don't have the heart to go back and look at all the people that we failed over the last 5 years, so I don't know how it ranks.
What was windows? I remember how excited we were about that one with Nathan Collins and Geddes and Matthias Nunes, and we were like, heck yeah, this is a great one. I'd have to go back and look, but honestly, yeah, they were so shitty. I could see that being one of the better ones, right?
Well, and we were hyped about it too, because that was obviously Nunes, like during, the season had just started and then had his head turned by City, stopped training, whatever all that nonsense was. And that's how we got Tommy Doyle. That's also allegedly how we got Santi Bueno, because like Pep's brother helps to run Girona or something. And so that's how we got Santi. But like it was all happening all at once. And there was like some excitement about that. And I think Bellegarde was like deadline day signing or something.
Yeah. I mean, don't forget that Tommy Doyle one. Andre came in as well.
Is that true?
Yeah. Andre was the late addition on there. I'm looking at it right now. That was Rodrigo Gomez, Andre, Tommy Doyle. Well, maybe something's messed up then. Either Tommy Doyle didn't come in.
I think Tommy Doyle's loan became permanent when we signed.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. Okay. So that next one, I mean, Rodrigo, Andre, Marshall.
I think the spell had already been lifted, at least for me. Maybe other people feel differently. By the time we got to Rodrigo and Pedro Lima, those were exciting kids. I was excited to watch some kids, play football. Mm-hmm. But like already, I was like, this is not a successful transfer window. Like,
we were drinking the Kool-Aid though. On that,
I was
US
not.
Tour. I was.
I wanted to see Pedro Lima play. He looks like a fun player to watch play, but I was also thinking, yeah, we really need a backup for Nelson, and this really isn't it yet.
Man, he wanted to score so bad in that Indianapolis game.
All right. Number 3 from Drew. Bigger pleasant surprise. Fabio fee or JSL fee?
JSL feed. 100. Yeah. Fabio had enough little bright spots that you could see that a non-English team was going to get him. The JSL feed blows my mind because, I mean, Crystal Palace, have you watched him? Like, and then in Jurgen's goodbye thing, he tries to blame it on, well, I had that injury early on, and looking at it, I shouldn't have come back so soon, blah, blah, blah. It's like, now, motherfucker, you gave up once you didn't get to Newcastle.
Yeah. Yeah, he also said in his interview with Crystal Palace, now I seem like I'm a stalker. Like I care about what he said. But he said, I like to play with fire and passion. And I was like, where has that been? Could have used with some fire and passion this season.
Yeah, I think that's true. Last year he was great with fire and passion. This year,
he said he would lose a tooth when he was in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
Or no,
Newcastle ruined it.
That was up in Jacksonville, but yeah,
that whole saga. I don't think JSL's gone, and I actually think JSL may be having a decent season if Newcastle hadn't come as hard as they did for him.
Yeah,
mental instability right there at that point.
I'll just give it to Chris Wood in Columbus and quote him by saying, "Is the fire and passion in the room with us?" All right, moving on. OJ Bailey on X. Odds on Mane getting championship golden boot.
I think they'll be pretty good. I still think Tolu is going to be the man for golden boot.
Yeah.
And that one article that he commented on did say, 25 goals and assists for Tolu should happen next year.
Yeah.
I think that's also reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah. I think also today is one of those that again, I'll say again that I'm not super amped about Adam Armstrong, but I think the one obviously good part of it is taking pressure off of Mane, assuming he stays with us next season. We were talking about, I think even just last podcast, God, this kid has to be the second coming next season. He's got to be scoring at least 10 goals, but it's just that's not a good environment for an 18-year-old. And so, even if Adam Armstrong is, he's in his prime now, but still, even if his most prolific days are behind him, potentially, it still is a good thing to have him there and be sharing the load with Mane. So yeah, it's good for Mane, even if it means he's not in the running for the golden boot anymore.
I also think that Tolu is just going to be so much more dominant physically in the championship. He's a big load now. I still think, and he'd probably admit as well, he's still trying to learn the English game, which he anticipated. But if he could just start getting those headers on target, he could become a freaking force. Because the dude bodies up some people.
Yeah, I agree. All right, New England Wolves on X. Will Wolves have more Gomez's on the team or more wins on the season? Place your bets.
We got to say more Gomez's, right? Because we'd still need 3 more wins. Is that what we'd need?
We need 3 more wins to equal the number of Gomez's.
Yeah, we're totally going to have more Gomez's.
To that point, this tweet came across my feed, and this is important to point out. Wolf Squad, of course, currently includes now Angel Gomez, João Gomez, Rodrigo Gomez, and Toti Gomez. The only instance of a league club fielding 4 players who share a surname is Cruz, Keith Jones, Dick Jones, David Jones, and Mervyn Jones versus Workington in the 4th tier in 1960. They were all on the pitch together is the important part. So Toti has to get fit. Angel Gomez has to, earn a starting spot. And then we could
somebody get Edwards here. This has to happen before the end of the year, or it's all 4 of them.
Also, keep in mind,
and then just for shits and giggles, we need to have the 2 Buenos on as well.
I was just gonna say, we could have a record low number of surnames on the pitch at the same time.
And if we put Andre, then that's missing a surname essentially. Yes, let's do it. What do you think? More Gomez's or team wins? You got to be saying Gomez's, right?
The safe money is on Gomez's.
Yeah,
I really want to believe that we will surpass that number in wins, but the safe money is on more Gomez's.
Yeah.
All right, Josh, you've got the last question. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
so my last question today, we're recording on Monday. It was Groundhog Day. Paxatani Phil did see his shadow, which means 6 more weeks of winter.
Yeah,
Or
no
does
shit.
it?
It's been like in the 20s all week in Baltimore.
Yeah, I got cold here. It was in the 40s. Woo.
There you go.
But did you know Paxatani Phil and his ancestors only have a 39% accuracy rate dating back to 1887? So my stupid question is, of the 42 available points, will Wolves get 39% of them, which would be 17 points?
It's funny how that ended up being like a really good line. Like I don't know that you could have set a better line. Maybe a little bit lower would be more tempting. I think I have to go under that. But it's like it feels close. Like
Yeah.
especially
42.
like if you imagine if you delude yourself into believing that Adam Armstrong is going to score a few goals between now and the end of the season, Tolu maybe scores a few more, like then that equates to a few more wins. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's just about it. It'd be pretty amazing if we ended up with the same accuracy rating as Pugs Tawny Phil.
I mean, keep in mind, we still get to play Burnley. Sunderland's been really good. We still get to play Leeds. We still get to play West Ham. We still get to play Forest here coming up. I mean, theoretically, if we were a decent team, that should be 12 points right there. There's no way we're getting 12 points from there. So
wishes were fishes.
So I'm going to say definitely under. I would think it's probably closer to 12. So
I gotta go.
That means Paxatani Phil will have been more successful since 1887 than Wolves were this season.
Yeah, gotta beat Derby's record low points. Gotta beat Punxsutawney Phil's accuracy from 1887.
Yeah.
All right, and that wraps up No Stupid Questions. Remember, you can reach us in between episodes at wholelotofwolves@gmail.com. You can also always tweet at either one of us or the show at WLWpod. So now, Josh, what is our Paramount Plus watch of the week?
Well, first off, Danny, did you do your homework that I
did
gave
not.
you 2 weeks ago? All right, we got to get you to watch Tropic Thunder.
I was snowed in. I still did not watch it.
You were missing out, my friend.
I'll get to
it. Even Stu was horrified that you hadn't seen it.
He can keep being horrified.
He can keep being horrified. So I'm going to go back on the nerdy side for this week's Paramount Plus watch of the week. And it is the series Star Trek Picard. Danny, were you a Trekkie?
I am, although I will say that Elise is the bigger Trekkie of the two of us. I grew up with Next Gen, and that's like kind of always what I go for. So Picard is arguably up my street, but I've never gotten on board.
So yeah, Next Gen was definitely mine, followed by Deep Space Nine. So season 1 of Picard was pretty solid. I mean, you saw a lot of the cast come back. Good storyline. The Borg were in it. The Romulans were in it. Okay, pretty exciting. Season 2 started off what looked like it was going to be incredible. Time travel. The Borg were in it. And after the first 3 episodes, it became hot garbage. And you're like, oh no, have they done it? Have they gone too far? Then season 3 of Picard came out, which was, for any Star Trek fan, one of the top seasons of any Star Trek show ever. If you love Next Generation, like, it's a good espionage plot line. It had everybody from Next Generation come in. Only one missing was Wesley Crusher, which nobody cares about that. They even had old school, some of the lesser characters coming in, and a return of the Enterprise D. So if you are a Star Trek fan and you have not watched Picard, you could probably skip season 2, but season 3 is where it's at, baby.
All right, and that wraps us up for this episode. We'll be back in a week, February 9th, to look ahead to Forest and to discuss, of course, the Chelsea game. And before we leave, I just want to depart a little bit from our usual format in this moment to talk about something that's a little more personal. I'll be honest, this season has been a bit of a slog in a lot of ways that I'm sure a lot of Wolves fans can agree with. But this past month has been extra hard to give my attention to sports while watching the events of the federal occupation unfold in Minnesota. For instance, the city game was interrupted by a person getting murdered in the streets of Minneapolis. The officer involved killings are not just tragic, but completely unnecessary. And the seeming constant disregard for constitutional rights is, quite frankly, sickening. It's very frustrating to watch, and sports is sort of a refuge, but sometimes reality intrudes. In the midst of all this, though, I've obviously been reaching out to my friend Todd DeWitt, who's been on our pod many times with Minnesota Wolves, and really heartened to hear that how Minnesota Wolves are coming together to support each other during this time, during the events that are taking place. I understand that their meeting place, the Black Heart of St. Paul, has been a real beacon of and refuge during this time. Hope it continues to be. Finally, although I hate to give it to Jurgen Klopp, give him any credit, I will give it to him when he said that football is the most important of the least important things. And even though Wolves have been a tragic watch virtually all season, it's helped put it in perspective. There are a lot more important things happening in the world, and it really is very heartening to hear how folks are coming together over their shared love of Wolves still. Much love to Todd, Ray Googe, who also was on our show once or twice, and all of Minnesota Wolves. Anything to add?
No, I think you said it well there, Danny.
Thanks. All right. We're going to be heading out. You could always do us a huge favor by giving us a 5-star review on your podcast platform of choice. Hit that like button and or subscribing to our channels. Hit the notification bell so that you are always told when we're going live. And of course, you find yourself out and about this week, encounter your friends and come together over our shared love as always and say, up the mighty, no longer undefeated in 2026, Wolves.